Good afternoon or good evening and welcome. Good evening, everyone. Hi, my name is Denise, the Diva D from Carved Out Divas. I think April is on mute. Okay, so I'm going to introduce April. She's April Cobb, April Beauty Bar, and I think she just is on mute. I'm not 100% sure if that's my side or the other side. Hey, April. Okay, hold on one second. Okay, so I'm going to go back. Don't know what happened, Bianca. I'm not 100% sure what happened, but I am back on. How you doing? Am I good to go? Just let me get a thumbs up or throw an owl across the screen and maybe perhaps that'll work. I'm not going to hit any more buttons because I know myself, once I start to hit buttons, it's going to be a problem. Hello, April. Are you there? Okay. Are you, I don't know if you're talking or not. I can't tell.
Well, you see me drinking out the cup, so I couldn't have been talking.
No, I just no. All I was just doing is like I didn't know if you said something. But okay, good evening, everybody. I think we're gonna just hit reset and restart. Good evening, everyone, and welcome. I'm the Diva D from Carved Out Divas.
I'm April Cobb with April's Beauty Bar, and we're diversity and equity in education. And guess what, y'all? We going to the Super Bowl.
Oh, they won?
I'm not even a Bucks fan, but I have several people like Rara, that man child of mine, they called
right
57 11 times today. And I'm just waiting for him to call and talk smack because I never know. I've never been a Bucks fan. I've never been no team fan. Let me just say that. I just enjoy my very large overpriced beer at the game. And I am happy with whomever wins. That's it.
I did not know that. Honestly, yeah, this was one of those years where I totally did not pay attention to the NFL at all. So yeah, I just got to get it word of mouth. And honestly, the reality of it hit me when I was actually just driving past the stadium, and I was like, "Oh, that's right, the Super Bowl is here." You know, I don't know why. I know I heard it several times, but the reality of it didn't hit until you start to see the big signs up and you saw them downtown and things like that. So yeah, well, congratulations. But I mean, I've been living here more than 20 years, and I've never actually been a Buccaneer. As a matter of fact, I met a couple Buccaneers at one time years ago, and they were acting like at first they were like, "Well, you don't know who I am," and I said, "Literally, I don't know who you are. I mean, I just moved to this town. Who are you?" At that point in time, I think I really insulted them because I said, "Tampa have a team? I didn't know Tampa had a football team." So it was one of those situations. But congratulations to the Buccaneers. Congratulations to all the Buccaneers fans. Sam Jordan, let's give you a big shout out because he's a super huge Buccaneer fan, and he actually went to England with the team. I think he won those lifetime tickets or something like that. And so hey, shout out to you all. I guess it'll be another rebuilding year for Dallas again. That's all I got to say about that. Me and Carla all by ourselves. Me and Carla all by ourselves got to rebuild Dallas all by ourselves. So congratulations again. Thank you all so much. So yes, April, how has your week been? We'll start with you.
Well, my week is normal. I've been back in school. Ain't nothing new to me. You the one got all this brand new stuff. I've been in the trenches since August. So yeah, my week is normal. My classroom stayed pretty average. We're still looking for children that haven't showed up since day one that are still on my roster. which I'm like, are they counting for FTE or not? Are they going to be included in my, yeah, there's a lot of questions about that for me, but other than that, it's the same for me.
Okay. Now that's interesting what you said about the roster. What we've been discovering this week, well, I went back to school this week, physical brick and mortar. And one thing I've noticed this week is that it looks like they just pretty much put all the kids in who are already online and then just added more kids to it. But then the physical children are walking in the room. It's amazing how it's a whole nother set of kids that are not even on the roster that are physically walking into school. So my question is going to be, well, the number one question is, where are these kids? Because they're not the online teacher who's taking them now, or who like as the leftovers or remainder kids. She's like, well, I got a bunch of kids that, you know, also on a roster that don't show up to class. Where are these children that are supposed to be on the roster?
And that's a question that we've been asking since day one. We do know that we are charged with, homeroom teachers are charged with at my site, you know, continuously reaching out to their students that are, you know, MIA. But then it became a point of kind of challenging to capture, you know, true validity behind that, being that you don't know if that homeroom teacher really called or not. So then you get charged with, you know, reaching out to all the students on your rosters that have not been in place. So I know for my e-learning classes, there are at least about 10 to 15 just have been MIA. So that's interesting. So we'll see what happens with that this week.
I agree as well. I'm seeing like I'm gonna tell you what was shocking was I actually saw a couple of kids who never logged into class. They from March of 2020 till right this past week that I actually physically saw them in school for the first time. So my question was, I said, well, what was it? I mean, you took a laptop, you had the thing that the school provided. Well, I just didn't have time to do it. Well, what were you doing from March of 2020 to what month are we in now? January of 2021. I mean,
the end of January is January 2021, because January is a wrap.
It's done. And go ahead. What were you gonna say?
No, I was just saying it's over. We're at the end of it.
My thing is, what response can a parent tell me as to why this child didn't even log in? Well, this child didn't log into not one class. So you're saying 7 classes from March, April, and May. Then you had all summer off. Then August, September, October, November, December, and then January. I mean, if a parent asks why this child is behind, I'd be flabbergasted if they ask the teacher why this child can't do their work. I mean, how are you not aware that this child hasn't done any work for almost a full year? A full year, because March will make a year.
Yes, and that's what is so, if we really sit back and think about it, it's been a full year since all of this just basically just turned our worlds upside down. Like our normalcy have become mask. Our normalcy have become in our rules. Make sure you keep your mask over your nose. And let me say this again and again and again and again and again. Adults walk around on campus. You by far are the true determining factor if the children are going to keep the mask on their nose or not. If you're not wearing it on your nose, they're not going to wear it on theirs. Resource officers on campus. Yes, roll them. Resource officers on campus.
Roll eyes.
Yes, we know y'all abide by a different set of jurisdiction for the better choice of description. But when you own the campus, you are considered a role model. If you're not wearing your mask, guess who's not going to wear it? Like, you just don't have the mask on all day half the time. So, yeah, cafeteria staff working with the food
with the T.
Please stop wearing your mask down to your lip, talking, carrying on, and then want to holler at the children about not having their mask on. What they need it on for? You breathing all over everything you touch, especially when COVID didn't. I'm done.
Roll the whole eyes up. Just roll them. Walk it out. Take flight. Take flight. Let me explain something to you. I mean, because remember, I'm getting back to campus now. teacher, the children gonna tell on you. Those children gonna tell on you. They're gonna just tell on you. I had to cover a class, by the way. I was trying to avoid it, but of course, nope. Got dragged in to cover a class, right? First of all, the classroom was nasty. Teachers, do you even dust? Do you leave it on the custodial workers? I mean, there was a layer of dirt this thick on in the class, and I'm covering the class. I didn't want to sit nowhere.
Right. And let me say
I didn't want
this.
to sit nowhere. And then
I
go
don't
ahead.
even want custodial staff let me be honest, in my room to clean because the towels that they're using aren't disposable. So you're just dragging the germs in
From
my
one room to the
room.
next.
Yes. So I tell them quit. I clean my room every day. Cleaning with Miss Cobb still exists every day. Every day. I clean the desk 3 to 4 times a day in between the kids cleaning. Door handles, all that stuff is cleaned several times a day. The floors are swept and my garbage cans are put by the door. So you don't even have to come in my room to
Don't come
bring
in.
any of the contamination.
Don't come in.
Because the dirty mops, I don't want it. I don't want the sour smell in my room. The dirty towels being used from room to room, no, I don't want them. Don't even bring them in my room. You're bringing in foreign germs in my room. I'd rather be familiar with the germs that we have with the kids that I know. So yeah, not
Right.
happening. Not happening.
Right. Because first of all, go back to it. The kids are going to tell on you. The kids going to tell that you don't believe in COVID. The kids going to say that you don't clean up. The kids going to say you wear your mask all down
I'll be
here
right
all
back.
through class. Go ahead. The kids going to say all that. That's what the kids going to say. That you have to remember. They're going to come in there. They can't wait to tell you everything that's going on. I'm so glad you're back because you keep your classroom clean. I know you got wipes. I know you're going to wipe off this. I know you're going to make us sit in this corner. I know you got this desk taped off like this and you don't want us to come across this because you can keep your area clean. Yes. Yes. Miss, they ain't clean the place. Honey, you got to tell me that. I can see the layer of dirt. I can see it myself. And I know what you're telling. I know what you're going to tell me because I already see it with my own 2 eyes. Please remember, we round children. Now, so let me speak to my situation. So now I returned to school. I went back on Tuesday of this past week, and my babies, especially the ones who are online, those are the ones who are they're very unfamiliar with the rules and the regulations of how things are at school. So teaching them how to keep the mask above their face, for them it's hard keeping it on all day. But I mean, they have been doing fairly well. But it's just a matter of them also learning how to stop touching each other in the hallway. I'm seeing a lot of that. They come back now. You really think that those kids aren't going to run up on each other and hug each other? Oh, I see my friend. They do all that. They run up on me and do it. Okay. So trust me, this is not going to be a very easy, as much as you may tell your child or your child has been instructed to stay here, stay there. Once they get around their peers, it's a different thing. Other thing to note, listen, if your kids have not been in school for a long period of time, they're going to have to remember that there are rules that school has. You can't leave the bathroom and go where you want to go. You can't be in the hallways. You can't go run down the hallway. You have to be very cognizant of the people around you. Okay? Just keep in mind of that. That's us. I can't even stress that enough. Please be aware of that. Lunchtime, at least in our school, we have bags of food. So we put the food in the bag and we hand it to them. And then that's the one time they take it down. So but you can't really separate the kids out. This is just how it is. They're going to be all together, clustered up like that. So anyway, let's talk about now this weekend. I'm not waiting for April to come back, but we will talk about this one particular thing. Something that we learned. We do a lot of time. We spend a lot of time doing research. A lot of times when people hear us talk, they're, is that right? Well, it's driven by research. One of the things that we do is research. Stuff we talk about is not stuff that we just pop out the top of our head. It is driven by what again? Research. Let me pause right here to lubricate so that before I say the next thing I'm saying. And by the way, there's my owl. Right. So, do you know what the role of a resource officer is? Anybody want to raise my hand? Anybody know what the resource officer's role is? Because in the process of research, we found some very key and unique pieces of information. One of them is that the resource officer's role is not to do any kind of intervention in terms of classroom management and behavior. That's not their job. Did anybody know that? I'll wait. Anyone? No? Okay. The resource officer's job is to protect the school. So when we're calling for the officer to pull children out of class and things like that, that's not part of their job assignment. We found documentation going back to 2019, so which is only just a few years ago, that lets us know that that's not what their job responsibility is. So you're doing more damage than good when you call a resource officer, because that's not what they're supposed to be doing. They're supposed to be checking for external threats. They're supposed to be looking at the situation that just in case somebody tries to come into the school to attack one of the kids or take one of the kids out of the school without parental supervision. That's their role. They're supposed to protect us from outside threats. They're supposed to secure the school. They're supposed to be mobile all around the school for a situation, but not for intervention. Just want to be very, very clear about that. That's not their particular role. If anybody has any comment about that, we'll be happy to provide you the research that we found coming directly from the district. Just gonna throw that out there real quick. Where's my homie? Where's she at? Anybody know? I'll just move on. So listen, people, hold on. Let me put this on silent for this thing come all the way up. Hold on. Hold on. Okay, good. All right, so let's talk about what's going to happen in the next couple weeks. So we know that we have a spring break, and I'm gonna put a personal plug out there for myself, as also for my school. Spring break is coming up, but I'm also looking on the lookout for food bags. You know what I always do is I put together bags for the kids. Unfortunately, this year I cannot do a like I used to do a lot of community service, give a lot of my kids community service hours. I can't do that because I can't have because of COVID. I can't have a whole bunch of hands touching the stuff. But we still are in need of, first of all, drawstring bags. Those drawstring bags that we received last year was so helpful because the kids could just grab the bags. They weren't transparent, so nobody could see what was in their bag, and they would able to jump on the bus and go. Okay, so I'm looking out now for a drawstring, like at least 50 or 60 drawstring bags, and then the food items to pack in there. The objective is to be able to have enough for a day or two meals. So, for example, everything that's microwavable, like SpaghettiOs or macaroni and cheese, oatmeal, bottles of water, the fruit snacks, granola bars. This makes it makes a meal. Like things like popcorn, anything that's light, and then fruit cups, things like that. So the goal is to have it in the kids' hands and out the door by spring break, which is the 3rd week of March. So I'm asking and requesting again if you can donate those items to myself and also to April. And so they're going to go to both of our schools, and you can always inbox us and we'll give you the information regarding that. Okay, that's first of all. Second, I'm always collecting coats or outerwear, but it has to be, what I would suggest is if you are donating, willing to donate a jacket or two to school, that it's sealed in a bag, and then that's delivered to our school. So we can also give you some information about where you can send that to as well. So I really appreciate that. Okay, now going forward to what we were doing over the weekend. So this weekend we and the members of the Sunshine Education Coalition, what we did this weekend is we went to WTMP and we were on the Sean Shaw show as well as Albert Lee show, 11 o'clock on WTMP. And what we did is we spoke to the audience, the listening audience, about the Sunshine Education Coalition, and particularly what the work that we've been doing to impact the school to prison pipeline. First of all, phase 1 is always about us being proactive and getting information out there. A lot of times that when we discuss the pipeline to prison, people don't know the data that's associated with it. They don't know who it's actually affecting. They're not 100% sure what we are actually addressing. So that we spent a lot of the month of December and January, a lot of the month of November and December, focusing on getting the information out to people. I'm glad April came right back on. Perfect. So right now, April, what I'm talking about is our Saturday, what we did on Saturday with the Sunshine
Yeah, I
Education
heard
Day.
you.
So now jump right in.
Yeah, so great information. My apologies, you all. It seems as though the grandbaby's mom always comes exactly at this time when we're starting the Zoom the live session. So my apologies. But long story
Okay.
short, the event, the conversation, the dialogue that was created by us along with the host from WTMP, Mr. Albert Lee and Mr. Sean Shaw, they created a space for us to be able to truly create dialogue around what is factual as it relates to the school to prison pipeline. Keyword factual as it
Factual.
relates to school to prison pipeline here in Hillsborough County and nationwide. And we are so forever thankful for Commissioner Gwen Myers for taking a special interest in hearing what we had to say as it relates to this level of urgency that needs to be taken surrounding our Black boy in schools as it relates to school to prison pipeline. She has been the key individual that have not only heard what we had to say, but was willing to create the necessary connections in order to get this conversation, in a place to where it's being heard by the right people, or, for the community to know about it. So we are charging everyone that is here or, hear this message, to direct individuals to our page, to our website as well, so that we could continue bringing forth this information. Because like I said on the call, is that we have so many sororities, so many fraternities, so many professional organizations that are heavily populated by African American people. And in most cases, they have an education pillar that is supposed to, well, a youth pillar that should be a special interest as it relates to the push out that our Black boys are receiving from, the disproportionate level of suspensions or discipline that they're receiving in schools. So therefore, we should have a lot more aggressive, conversation around this versus all these happy-go-lucky. I'm happy to have met with this person and that person with the school board. Just meeting with them serves no purpose if you walk away with no action items that's going to create a betterment for our youth. So therefore, I'm not impressed with just meeting. I'm not impressed with saying that, yes, I have talked to him before. What have you talked to our superintendent about? What have you or currently talking to our school board members about? Because to be honest, there is only two, literally, in my opinion, based upon the conversations that I've had, that truly have a genuine interest in this work, a true, genuine interest in this work. Other than that, it's just a matter of it's not my thing. I really want to focus on something else, and their conversation isn't around something that is basically destroying the Black boy. I don't care
Correct.
what district they are over. They need every school board member should have an interest in this. Every single one, when it seems as though the Black boy is being targeted. That's the
Mm-hmm.
only way we can look at it at this point.
Excellent. And I absolutely agree. 2 points you made. One, first of all, with the sororities and things like that. I think that they also should, just a suggestion, you need to target a younger audience. A lot of times when they have awards and scholarships, things like that, those kids are already in high school. They're on the way to college to join a sorority. But the problem is our deficits are starting way back at elementary school. So that's where they'd be a lot more impactful, because we have kids coming out of elementary school, third and fourth grade, that can't meet the benchmarks. So that's the group that you need to target on, because they a lot right now we don't see the replacement. All the AKAs and the Deltas and all these people that are going to college, they're not going to make it to college if they don't close these gaps and these deficits right now. That's in what I say severely important. That's what very important. Then the other thing too is the unity that we need to have. Just like you mentioned, that with the districts, one district can't say, okay, we made it and we're good. We don't have to worry about the rest of the district. It's a Hillsborough County, the whole Hillsborough County. Okay, we need to be able to say, hey, all together, all of Hillsborough County looks good. We're doing well, the whole thing, not just one section. So it's important that we all are unified in that manner. Now I know that we've been on, and there's a lot of comments that came in. They just have not had an opportunity to look. So let's just say a couple of shout outs, a little hate to some people that's on here. Hey Gretchen, thanks for tagging people. And I see, let's see who is on here with us. Audra, how you doing? Audra, posted also earlier that there is a child that's missing. And we posted on I think on one or two of our pages. So I want you to go back and look at the information. We'll share that with you. But please be cognizant of the fact that there's some children that are truly missing in Hillsborough County, and we need to keep our eyes out for them. And they're be real diligent about that, because kids are just like I said, we missing thousands of kids. I mean, it truly could be because of us not having school in that brick and mortar setting. It's really easy for these kids to just drop out, and then they become completely lost. So we have to be very, very careful about that. Let's see, Audra start tagging some people. Gretchen, let's see, no Suzanne. Let's see what here. You better give them an A. What does it say? Parents say they did not know even though she was enrolled in school in December when you called to find out about the grades. Are you kidding? Okay. Okay. Now, yes, going back with the food. Okay, Audra said they clean my own room for sure. They just need to do the trash. Exactly. And that's that's the thing. Like, I love, as I say, April had a following, especially there were 2 or 3 ladies in my church that were following April. They were like, "You're not gonna do no sweeping with Miss Cobb no more." So I'm real upset about this. Are we supposed to be sweeping? I guess I'm gonna have to start sweeping my room. So, but it's true, you got to clean your room, because you can't get. When I talk about small things that you don't think about in your home. Okay, keyboards get dirt and dust on them. Children are touching keyboards. They touch the mouse. That's a community property. If you think about anything in your room, that's community property. And parents, I do want to give you a shout out. Some of y'all did send the kids back to school with supplies. Others walked in the door like, I'm supposed to be doing work today. So I keep telling them, I said, if I give you a pencil, that is your pencil. Do not lose that pencil. Do not share that pencil. That belongs to you, and that's yours for the rest of the day. Please hold on to it, because I can't have you give that to somebody else. So, and the thing about our kids is like, they love to share. That's one of the things about our kids. If you don't have something, I'll give it to you. But be aware of the fact that sharing is not really caring in this situation. It really isn't. April, what you laughing about?
I'm actually over here laughing at this son of mine calling again to tell me about his Super Bowl win. He didn't even talk about the championship win. He already speaking on the Super Bowl win in his city.
Wow. Oh, Gretchen, you like my owl mug? You like my owl mug? Okay, thank you. I appreciate it. let me give you a shot again. The owls. Okay. Yeah.
Yes, roll them eyes.
Roll up. That's what I'm talking about. Roll up. Okay. Ooh, hold up. I hit my button. I hit the button too fast. Okay, now listen, people. So I was privy to a conversation, of course, East Tampa Civic Association last week, and then again this week. We have been talking about the bikes, these what do you call them? Dirt bikes, all-terrain vehicles, things like that. And then the gun violence.
They normally say the ATV bikes, right?
ATV, yes. And then the violence in the community. Okay, listen. We've got to do a much better job, and we have to. I know one of the big issues that we had was that people didn't feel like they could be protected, but when they called 911, that was one of the big issues that people had. And the police department, the members of the police department that were there did discuss it with us. So you don't have to share your information. I said, well, a lot of people do feel pressured to share all their information when they're reporting a crime. It's just not fair to do, because you just don't know who's on the other end of the line. That's first of all. Second, our kids are tormented by this. This is, they know what's happening. They're aware of it. They got to hear helicopters flying overhead. They got to hear the shots in the night, and then they still got to turn around and go to school, and you expect them to be highly successful. I mean, we just got to work hard. I mean, I understand that we're supposed to be diligent and things like that, but we got to do something else. We're calling on community. We're calling on the leadership, because we realize a lot of things don't get done unless policy is involved. That's one thing we've learned over the summer. Policy makes a lot of things happen. We know that the right key people need to be pushing these issues out, and we do understand that the community also has to help. I mean, you can't sit around and say, I don't know why this is happening, when you are aware of the person who's selling $3,000-$4,000 bikes to 16-year-olds. I mean, you just can't.
Without a doubt.
Yeah. And then on top of that, you have entire corner stores, the gas stations. They're just letting people hang out. Just letting them hang. I mean, think about this, people. When you go to a bank, do people just hang around and loiter around the bank? When you go to a hospital, are they just hanging around and loitering around a hospital? Are they doing that around schools? Are they doing it around the police department? Think of all the places where people are just not allowed to loiter and hang around. And don't you notice the crime around those areas are low? Because you're not, the business owner is not allowing the people to just chill and hang out.
And that's where the neighborhood associations, like in you all's area, need to, in my opinion, start reaching out to their commissioner, not commissioner, their councilman, which would be Councilman Goods, and begin having those conversations. Because yes, it's okay to have business in those neighborhoods, but it's not okay for you to create an environment that becomes unsafe for the individuals that live in the neighborhood because you allow people to loiter at your establishment. And if so, you need to be held accountable for that. Like, what we doing?
Right. Because when you see people home inside and people don't want to go outside at night, you're basically you created a situation where you made it almost the kids in the neighborhood are the terrorists in your own neighborhood. That's how I feel like, to where you just can't. Can I sit outside? Can I just enjoy a lovely, the fresh air outside? What can I do and just be comfortable in my own home? It's a horrible feeling. Horrible feeling. People are sitting there saying, well, I gotta be home by 5:30 because I know they're gonna start popping off and carrying on by 6. By the time, as soon as the sun go down. And right now, since they won this game, God knows what's happened. Because I've heard entire cannons blasting up. Now, I don't know if it's cannons like fireworks or is it somebody's big shotgun powered black.
Well, we have no wonder, because when we got a gun show in the gun show not too far from East Tampa, that's happening every other month. I am so baffled by that. Yes, I get they have a right to come here, but when when there's such a heightened level of deaths due to gun violence, you might want to rethink maybe putting a pause on that a little bit, because for some reason or another, it seems as though there might be a correlation to that. I have no facts, but it does seem kind of weird. It just does. It does.
Like
and they hear every other month?
Yes. I know that's amazing to me, how a gun show could come to town so often. But you can't have concerts that often. You can't have a festival that often. You just can't. In fact, the fair only come once a year. So
and it's been delayed. But the gun show was in full effect this weekend.
That part I don't get that part at all. I don't get that part. I think the priorities that people have in this city are messed up, or it could be lobbyists. Some people just lobby for things that what they want. Okay, listen, I want to have this, but notice where it is. It's in an area where it's far away from a lot of.
No, it's not. Sugar Creek community, which is an underserved community. It's a 3369 area code. So no, it's not.
No,
it's up the street from the jails. It's insane, to be honest.
What I agree with what you're saying. What I was going to say is, it's far away from the ritzy neighborhood. It's in the poorer neighborhood. That's what I'm saying. So I agree with you.
Oh, my bad. Yeah.
I absolutely agree with you. Yeah, they are in a neighborhood where, okay, yeah, let's keep it over here where it's more impoverished. Oh, no, we're not going to do that. We're not. So now, how are we feeling about the Super Bowl being here? We're in the midst of a pandemic.
Well, I am kind of excited that we won, so that we didn't have two different groups of team people coming into the city. To be honest, the Bucks we hear, you're going to have probably a few come in for it, but we just got one other team that will be coming and their fans. So that is kind of a plus, don't you think? Maybe.
Yeah, it would be a plus, because you're not bringing extra people into the city.
Right.
I'm just concerned that now people are going to want to be out even more. It was bad enough.
Girl, they was all in the streets in South Tampa. You ain't seen the pictures? Flooded. South Tampa was flooded. They ain't missed nothing today. Look, it's just gonna be a few more folk.
Right. I just want to get my. We were suggesting. We said to each other before. Let's just go ahead and get our groceries early. Get all your groceries. Get everything that you put gas in your car. Do everything that you need to do now, because by the time them people roll through, the streets gonna be packed.
Actually, most of them will start arriving because they come for most that have that type of flow. They come
Right.
in like a week or two before so they can enjoy the
Right.
festivities. Like this upcoming weekend would have been Gasparilla. My
Right.
crew, we're disappointed that we won't be able to be on the float and roll because they postponed Gasparilla and
Right.
postponed even St. Patrick's Day parade. Like all the parades have been postponed.
And
So
that's
most
no
of them
fun.
probably will frequent the Busch Gardens, Orlando, so on and so forth. But yeah, a lot of things have been pushed back. So I'm not sure if they would come earlier than they would, like a week or two in advance, but we'll see. I bet the tickets went up as of about an hour ago for
Yes,
everything.
they did. Yes, they did. Yes, they did.
What we
So
selling? That's the thing we need to find out. What we selling, what we buying, and
right.
what we selling.
Because somebody will buy something. Okay, they go. Man, if this wasn't the time to start selling some stuff, whatever it is you got to make, can you make anything? Sell it. They come in here. Oh, that's a shocking. Okay. So anyway, but look, this I am just rather what? See, just like you, people keep texting and texting. What's wrong, people? We are live. We are the live people. Right.
Right. Like they forget 6:30.
Take flight. Just
6:30.
30. Was it 30?
30. Every week.
Listen, while I'm here, might as well give him a shout out to my admin. I'm telling you, I gotta say this, okay? It's as I say, it's a new sheriff in town. We truly do have a more of a, I guess, more of a lockdown, I think, on, I wouldn't say on behavior, but just on how rules flow, how the structure of the way the kids come in, go out, the passing, and there's more eyes on the school. So I'm really happy about it going back to school, because remember, I haven't been on campus. So this is a true change for me, because remember the last time I was on campus, I was experiencing a different principal.
Wait, you say you ain't been on campus? I need you to fix that. You ain't been on campus all day.
That's right. Okay, that's true.
Okay, because you've been on campus.
I have been on campus. I just, you're right. I have not been on campus for the entirety of a day. That's correct. So like, this is the first, so I haven't even experienced a full week yet, because Monday was a holiday. Next week, coming Monday, I'm starting a full 5 days. And Lord, I don't even know how I'm accurate. A full 5 days.
I just want to push pause real quick for this.
What's that?
Do you see the length?
Wait, can I swing? Can I swing it too? Can I swing it? Can I swing it too?
Listen, would I be able to put my whole hand right here and it come down over? When they come down over my hand, y'all ain't gonna be able to tell me nothing. You can tell me that with itty bitties, but now it's like, look.
That's how I feel too. I'm just like, do you know I'm swinging to the side? Wait a minute. What?
And Bianca come over here and flip hers up to the top, wrap a whole bun. We be like, girl, you ain't have to do us like that. You ain't have to do that. You have to do us like that. You ain't have to do us like that. Mm-mm.
We just
put your hair back in the wrap. Put it down. We don't need to see you be able to flip flop it and all that.
We just started. That's all. It's just the beginning phase. It's just fair. But we do want to say thank you. You know, we gotta get started. We do want to say we are thankful for the people that we have met so far, and we also have to make sure we mention again the 28 days of the Black Youth Experience starting on February 1st. We're dropping it on the 1st of February. April, tell us a little bit about that real quick.
So the Black Youth, 28 days of the Black Youth Experience, we are taking a viewpoint from African-American youth in the home, community, and school. And we wanted to be able to speak with the individuals or invite them to a panel to be able to have discussions about, topics that are surrounding what we feel are facets into the school to prison pipeline. So our first week that we are launching, and I don't have it in front of me. Hold on just a second. Just a second. Let me pull up the flyer. Please hold. As I pull up the flyer.
As April pulls up the flyer.
Okay, so our first week of the Black Youth Experience is going to be unpacking the state of public education for the Black youth. And that's where we've invited school board members. We've invited Bay Director Elvin Martinez and also Safe and Sounds
Freddie
Freddie
Barton.
Barton. So we want to be capable of let's just go back before we say that. We've invited all the school board members just to identify who was available and who can attend. We invited individuals from HCSO, TPD,
Our state reps,
senators, reps,
attorneys.
you name it. If they interact with youth or they are a individual that sits in a position that can change the conversation or introduce this into conversation that will get some type of reaction as it relates to school to prison pipeline, we invited them. So that first week is that. And our second week is statistically speaking, race, gender, and disabilities matter. And that's where we wanted to be able to, delve down a little bit deeper in order to create true conversation around how our youth that are unique within themselves with their disabilities or their gender choices or whatever it may be, how this too also impacts them. And it's an additional layer actually outside of being a Black youth. And then we have week 3, the school to prison pipeline and moral code. And that's where we're wanting to speak to this systemic plan that is not spoken about, but based upon what's happening, it had to have been intentionally designed to where now it's viewed as an immoral code. And how do we switch it? How do we get it changed? What is necessary to change this overall for our kids? Which leads into our week 4, which is changing the trajectory for the Black boy. And that's what we're seeking to have on our legislators, the individuals that's responsible for creating policy, conversation around it. We know nothing can't be done this year, but remember the individuals that we vote into those positions, that they can have conversation around it all year leading up to next year, where we would definitely want to see some language, some conversation, something that is brought forward to where we see some intentionality behind changing the trajectory of our Black boy that is, getting the worst of the worst as it relates to being able to go to school and obtain more success than being pushed out into failure when they're not put into a classroom setting and their needs are being met. So that's where we're at, and we're super excited.
We really are. And then just to leave y'all with a question, think about it. I mean, do people actually consider a child's mental health or consider a child's disability when you're thinking about disciplining them? I mean, those are just one of the thought processes we have, and we throw those questions out there. And one of the questions that we always lead people with is, where do you stand? A lot of times people don't, until they're aware of the facts, they just don't even know where they stand on the situations. Like how is your life impacted by this, or what can you do to impact a change in this situation? So we really are excited about it, and we have tips that we want to share with parents and teachers. We have a lot of information that we want to just put out there to make people aware of. Every Monday there's going to be a panel discussion, and so we're excited about that. That's every single Monday in February, and then throughout the week there's information that we're dropping every single day. And then don't forget to check out our website, which is craftfully and masterfully put together by the fabulous and fantastic Bianca Goolsby of Teaching for the Culture. I mean, this girl got skills. Okay. So
that's through her company, the Level 8 Agency. Yes. So I think I'm saying that right. Am I saying that right? Put some over in the chat to make sure I say something. Did I say that right? I must not say it right. I just say it right, y'all. But I do believe that is correct. Level 8 Agency. And we need to make sure that we ask ourselves, what is your belief systems surrounding school to prison pipeline? If you don't have anything to think about the school to prison pipeline, that means you don't know really what's going on, and that it's impacting children right here in Hillsborough County. You just don't. So with that being said, we need you to be intentional. and we are always seeking out partnerships. Our ultimate goal is to move into phase 3 with this after we host our 28 days of the Black Youth Experience. And the ultimate goal is to seek out change. That's the goal. We're not trying to be in competition with any other organization. We are definitely willing to partner and collaborate in the event that's not going to slow us down or stagnate where we're at, because we got to keep pushing forward. It has been recommended to us by several individuals. Have you talked to this person? Have you reached out to this group? Have you? The question we have for them, what have they been doing so far?
Right. Right.
Where have their voice been all this time? Because if they haven't been doing anything at this point, only thing we can reach out to do with them is share with them what we've been doing and ask how we can be in partnership in order to us to move this work along that we're currently working on together.
Mm-hmm.
But it is what it is.
Right. And then just understand too, we do recognize the fact that there are people out there working, but the thing about it is, and which is what we learned. That's what this whole thing is, just a big learning experience, especially for me. I just feel such a great learning experience. We're finding out that people are trying to get the work out there, or trying to put their, as they say, boots to the ground, but nobody knows what the other person is actually doing. So it's like we're finding all these unique and interesting organizations, but it's like, well, what you doing over here? Does anybody know what you're doing? Do you know there are programs out there for parents and programs out there for kids? Nobody knows where they are. So it's a matter of really pushing everything up. And then I think some organizations too just really don't this we're in a world of technology, and we're in a world of social media. This is the way the world is going right now. Learning to embrace it and use it to push your programs out there, because there's a lot of information out there, but people don't have access to it because a lot of people look at everything on their phone, and if it's not there, they don't think it exists. So that's a key thing that that a lot of organizations need to do, is just push the information out a little bit onto more, I think, varied platforms, so it allows people to have access to it.
And you saw Denise and I fashionably demonstrating our unity at the radio shows that we were at this weekend, our SEC t-shirts. Please keep in mind, you want one, you want to support us, are available for purchase. So please let us know if you would like a t-shirt as well. And yeah, I think that's about all we wanted to talk about tonight, right?
Right. That's pretty much it. I mean, we're pretty much done. Like I said,
be at work tomorrow.
Oh, because
don't drink too much of that grain, cause them bucks then won. I ain't coming no class.
You know they take flight, Bianca. Just take flight. You know they ain't coming to work.
I'm not covering no classes. Get your butts to work. So gonna drink your drink before 8 o'clock here. Take that BC powder or that goodie with some warm water and get on up. Wear your dog boy glasses and sit at your desk.
Black coffee and a BC powder, please. You'll be all right.
Or a goodie. I am April Cobb with April's Beauty Bar.
I'm the Diva from Carved Out Divas.
And we're Diversity, Equity, and Education, being hosted by the wonderful Bianca Gooseby with
Teaching for the Culture.
Y'all have a good week, guys. Bye.
Bye.